You ready? Come on. Go. Good job, Lacey. It's such a beautiful day out here, and it's so nice to see my range turn back to green from dead from the drought that we had. Thank you, Sweet Pea. You know, if you remember last video, it was just dead and dry out here. We had 4 months without rain, and we also had like 90 days of 100+ degree temperatures. And that caused a little issue that I'll share with you in this video. Now, some of y'all were asking me, how was I able to water my fruit trees and keep the place going when we were not allowed to do watering outside because we were on stage 4 water limitations. So I'm going to show you how I conquered that, managed to keep my fruit trees alive and whatnot, keep this place going on a budget. The key is really simple: water management and water conservation and water recycling. Hold one. For me, it started off with having a pretty decent gutter system for drainage. And then that evolved, oh hey kitty kitty, to just whatever receptacle I could use that would catch water. One thing I want to make very clear, actually a couple things here, is that one, make sure that whatever tank that you use is food grade or good for holding water, and I'll explain that a little bit further. Also, when you have a tank, look at this kitty right here. When you have a tank, have something solid. Like this is expanded metal right here. And people ask me, well, won't cheesecloth or netting work just fine? Your animals, if they like to jump up on top of things like mine do, and have WWE matches on top, you know, you want to have something solid so they don't fall through. So the netting is fine, but always reinforce it with something because you don't want them to be able to fall in there. Okay, that's one method. That's very simple. Let me show you the other method. For larger quantities of collecting water, this is an IBC tank. This is something that was given to me, was salvaged. Again, make sure y'all, any tank that you use, poly tank, whatever it be, it is food grade. There was never any pesticides or caustic type of chemicals in there that would hurt your animals for catching water, because you may have to use this water for your animals along with irrigation for your fruit trees and whatnot. Again, expanded metal. You know, make sure your animals don't fall in. You know, 250 gallons. Trust me, I was literally at the end of the summer drought scraping the bottom of this IBC tank to have enough water for my fruit trees to keep them from dying. Never underestimate the value of recycling water also. You know, I put these troughs out for, you know, like the bigger animals, but it seems that the ducks like them a lot. And once they kind of get too icky for drinking for the animals, I go ahead and just purge them out, and I recycle the water, you know, buckets, whatnot, pump to water my fruit trees. This is a plum tree that did really well. When you select your trees out for your homestead, make sure you find something that's pretty much drought tolerant. I'm not sure my nectarine tree is going to make it, but I'm going to try. Also very important, don't forget your water for consumption and for hygiene. Like I tell people, make sure you use the proper type of containers, regardless of the size. They've got to be food grade, you know, BPA free. And I like the large tanks for storing drinkable, potable water, but I like the small ones in case I got to grab something and go, or just for small stuff, okay? But like I said, water is very important. 3 days, folks, 3 days without water, not good a thing. So make sure you have water on hand for consumption and for hygiene. Things were so bad this summer that they talked about cutting our water off a few times. Not just mine, but all of us that live in the Central Texas area. But let me show you a hazard of drought conditions. Fire. It's kind of hard to put out a fire if you don't have access to water. As I said, they were talking about cutting our water off a few times. So always have a method of fighting fire. This started out as someone had left an extension cord for months out there and it was still plugged in and caused an electrical fire, sparked, arced, went all the way across this area, over there where Lacey May is, back over this area, got really close to this other shed over here. Over there's a barrel full of water, sorry, right there, a barrel full of water that was designed to kick over, but always have a plan, y'all. Trust me, I like to keep spigots close by, but again, if the water shut off, you're gonna be fighting that by hand. People have asked me what method did I use? Did I use a pump or what to distribute water out to areas? And I told them that I mostly just hand bucket everything. Did have a pump, it went bad, but it is a method. Again, this is all about being on a budget. Water, how important it is, and the hazards of not having it if you're up against a very critical situation. It gets so dry out here that all it takes is a spark and it could ignite all this out here. Regardless of how large or how small your tanks are, again, as I always said, make sure you protect your animals, make sure they're okay. Small tanks can do small things, large tanks can do large things, but collect what you can, because it sure will get you by in times of dire need for water, drought, arid conditions. Trust me, if you have to, you can make this drinkable. Now, some people would tell me, well, Johnny, where I live, they really don't give us permission to cultivate rainwater. And I always find that interesting, because why are you giving somebody permission for your right to survive and live? I can tell you right now, both sides of me, my mother's people's history, my father's people's history, that's not going to work out well. If you give an entity permission to allow you to live, that's not living. Okay, that's not. It's more like subjugation. So I don't grant anyone permission to make that decision for me. Fully functioning adult, how about no? All right? Questions, comments, guys. I hope this helps you out a little bit, because trust me, I've had a lot I had to take care of. Catching some rainwater, cultivating, recycling rainwater should be on your high priority, because remember your rules of 3 of survival. How long can you live without water? 3 days. Okay? Questions, comments, leave them below. Just a quick video for y'all. It's beautiful outside. I'm going to go get back to doing product reviews soon. Till next time, I'm Johnny the Practical Nurse, out here.